guys to DH Online Math Tutorial. In this channel, we talk about mathematics to the in-depth. Our objective is make maths very simple for people and for them to see maths as a fun. Yes, people complain a lot that mathematics is complex, it is this, it is that, but the truth is that things only remain rigid when you did not know the laws guiding it. There are laws guiding everything of life. Yeah, so you must try to understand what is that law guiding it. Until you understand the law, it will keep remaining rigid for you. All right, in today's tutorial, I will walk you through on what I call law of indices. Let's start from this law of indices. Indices is one of the topics in mathematics that there is no, when you begin to treat other topics in mathematics, you will always see indices reflecting in other topics. So that is why anybody who have started the journey of mathematics or who have started his or her journey as a student, I don't know whatever level you may be, and you still not understand indices, then that person will find a problem. We have some challenges. The person will have some challenges in other topics in mathematics. All right, so I'll walk you through on the laws of indices. First and foremost, the law, we have about 7 laws of indices. That's what I've written on the board, and I will explain them, how they work and what are those things you need to understand about them. So if you're able to master these 7 laws, trust me, there is no question in indices that you cannot attain. The first law is the law of the product law. The product law says that the multiplication sign will becomes the addition sign, meaning multiplication sign changes to addition sign in the product law. So let's assume now in indices, let me quickly make this this sound clear to you. When we have a raised to power n times a raised to power n, now this a here is called the base and the n is called power. It's also called exponent. You can also call it index. Now we call this index, that is where indices come in. Index is a singular of indices. So we say indices is a plural of index. So that means when we say indices, we mean something that has a base that has a raised to power, a power that carries a power. So that is for that. So when in the first law, product law, your multiplication becomes addition sign, and that goes. Now the next thing here is the next law is the law of division. Division law. In division law, we have it to be division will becomes what? Subtraction. And when we have a raised to power n divided by a raised to power n, now equal to a, since you are having the same base, so you pick one of those base and you say raised to power n, your division sign becomes subtraction minus or subtraction and n. This is a raised to power m minus a. Next thing here is the law of product. Let me say product power. Yes, because the multiplication is being done up. That is not the base. It only affects the power. So we have it to be a raised to power n in a bracket and raised to power n also in a bracket raised to power what? P. So here what this simply means is that all these power raised to power are going to multiply each other. That is what we have here, and that which becomes a raised to power n times p, and that has solved for that. So next law is law 4. We have law 4 to be a square root n, a and everything in bracket raised to power n. And what forms this? What forms this is this. We have a raised to power m over n. Now listen to me. you might not get all what I've been saying so far. What is all this? A raised to power n plus power n. Because I'm using letters, you may not get it. But the truth is that when I start using numbers, you will understand it better. But this is just how the law works. So, this is how the law works. Just try to follow up what I'm saying. Then, as the time I begin to solve questions using the law, I will begin to implement these laws using real numbers. You will understand them better. So, number 5 is law 5 is a raised to power. Law 5, we call it a negative index. In law 5, the index is not just an index, it's a negative index, and that gives us equal to what forms this is equal to what? 1 over. Your minus becomes 1 over, and your a, your base a, and your power n comes here. So that is how it goes, and which the same thing to what is there. So the next one, law 6, is a raised to power 0 equal to 1. That is, anything raised to power 0 is equal to 1 in indices. Alright, the law 7, it is a raised to power 1 equal to what? Equal to a. Now I'm going to explain some few things. I believe when I start implementing, if I implement some numbers, you will understand better what I've been saying so far. Alright, let's use numbers and let me simplify it better for you. Okay, now if we use number, we have a raised to power 3 times a raised to power 2. Good. What does this simply mean? When we say a raised to power 3 means a multiplied itself by what? Multiplied itself in 3 places. That means we have a in 3 places. That's what this means. Now, indices, it is indices that tells us that why it is raised to power 3 is that these multiplication signs were converted to what? Change to addition. So I'm going to show you how that's work now. So we have, since we are having the same base base A here, so we pick 1A and we have it to be raised to power 3. The sign here, multiplication becomes plus sign, and you raise to power 2 here, you put 2. So that is, we have A, 3 plus 2 is what? 5. So that's the answer for the first one. So that is what I actually explained in the first place using letters. So let's move to the second question, the second law and the rest. So the next law now says a raised to power 4 divided by a raised to power 2. Now, as I've said, division sign becomes what? Subtraction. So we have the same a here, the same b. So we have a raised to power 4 minus 2. So we have a raised to power 2 minus 4 minus 2 is giving us 2. So this is the answer for that. Now this law says a raised to power 2 in the bracket, raised to power 3 inside the bracket, and again raised to power 2 inside the bracket, raised to power 1. So what this means is that we are going to multiply the powers. Power will multiply power. Power cannot multiply base. So all the powers will multiply. So we have a raised to power 3 times 2 times what? Times 1. So this gives us a raised to power 2 times 3 times 2, 6 times 1, that is 6. That's answer for that. So this one here simply means a raised to a square root. Good. Square root of a in a bracket raised to power 1. That's what it means. So the next one here is you can also, if let's say for an example, these 2 changes, it becomes 3. That means we are having let's say for example we are having raised to a raised to power 1 over 3. So the here since we have square roots, and don't forget your square root is also 2. So we're going to put it 3 here. So that's giving us cube roots, root to power 1. So in case this thing becomes let me say 2, that means here changes to what? To 2. So that is how these laws work. So you must try to understand the law. The next one here is negative index. This one says 1 over a, 1 over a, 1 over a raised to power 1. Now this minus here, the negative sign here, is what forms 1 over. Please note this. Students get this thing confused. They think the 1 here is what I've written up here. No, the 1 here is this negative sign that forms 1 over, and this 1 here comes down here. It's still there, but what changes here is the negative sign that I removed and formed 1 over. So that is for that. So the same thing if you happen to have it to be something like a raised to power negative 3. So we have it 1 over a raised to power 3. That means 3 in a in 3 places multiply itself. So these have answered the question for the law of indices. I believe you all understood. The last one I'm going to be showing you is anything raised to power 0 equal to 1. Alright, thank you very much for watching. If you really learned a lot of things in this video, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like the video. Share the video to your friends and family who you think have mathematical issues, and thank you very much. See you in the next video where I'm going to be implementing the laws I've just taught you now in this video, this tutorial. I will implement them and we start solving different questions on indices. Thank you. Till we meet again. Bye.